All right, so that's how Spurs did it at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Bournemouth. They put 3 past the Sherries, and Spurs have actually added Werner to the attacking setup they've actually got for the rest of the season. Next on the list for them is against Manchester United, and I was just talking to the guys about what Timo Werner would bring to this team, and I don't know what, but I mean, that's Spurs last win in the match week 20. They are getting to match week 21. So let me start off with you, Postecoglou. He's brought in Werner, and I mean, I don't know what you think about what Werner will add to this team. Left Chelsea, he's back to the Premier League again.
I see. I'm sure Timo Werner is a nice guy, but you see,
Charlie, what do you mean by that?
the reason he left Chelsea to Leipzig is, he found his feet at Leipzig, so he's going back to Leipzig to cook. Couldn't cook anything at Leipzig, and it was shocking. He became a bench warmer at Leipzig.
Okay.
This is a Leipzig team that was really open for him to. So when I heard that Timo Werner was going to Spurs, I was like, what did they see? What are the stats? What's going on here? I don't know what they see, but maybe he's there to come and execute a specific task. By my humble opinion, I think it was highly unnecessary. They could have gotten, if it's a Son backup they want, there are a lot of players on the market they could have gotten. I think maybe they are looking at the Premier League experience
He's got.
But the Premier League experience he has was missing sitters and missing open goals.
Charlie, no, you're being too harsh on Werner.
That's why I started by saying I think it's a.
But I mean, it's a loan. I mean, it's not an outright buy.
So it will make sense about that. But I'm struggling to still understand that purchase, because you have a front line of Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, who has been underperforming, and in his past, he has 5 goals in his past 5 games, so picking up a bit of form. Maybe it's for the squad depth, but even if he's going to, I'm going to struggle to see how he even breaks into the starting lineup, because my front 3 would be Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, Kulusevski, and you have Bentancur recovering from injury. So I don't know how he fits inside. It's still a buy that's still perplexing to me.
Okay. Emma, I mean, Safa said it all with Werner, but let's talk about the game itself against Manchester United. United themselves are in a different form. I mean, just blown hot and cold this season a lot more. They are going to...
a lot more cold than hot, obviously.
Charlie, they are going to side Postecoglou's Spurs, who are very driven, especially when they are playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What are we to expect from these two teams, I mean?
I think they'll be playing at Old Trafford, because Spurs actually won 2-0 in the first encounter. For me, if this game was being played with a fully fit United and a fully fit Spurs, I'd say Spurs has the edge. But funny enough, I tend to lean towards United in this game, because Spurs are losing the anchor of their midfield, both of them. Bissouma is not around. Sarr is not around. Their talisman up front, Son, is not around. So those are 3 key players who they are going to play without. Yes, Bentancur is back, but he hasn't played any proper football in a long while. And then Richarlison, it seems to have found some form. But then with what we do know, Van der Ven is back. I think he was on the bench in the Burnley game, so I'm guessing he starts this game. They've also got this Genoa defender in. Today I watched his last game. I think it was against AC Milan. He didn't look bad at all. So he seems to fit what Postecoglou wants to do. Defenders who are comfortable with the ball and like to push for it. But if we want to take notes from the Manchester City game, where that team was barely stripped to the bones. I think they had Royal and Ben Davies playing as centre backs, and he still went to Manchester City and got a result playing the way he wants to play. It means that's the same thing they are going to do at United. And what United love is a team that will play high line and probably not press so much, because they just need to find the ball to Rashford or a Garnacho, a willing runner.
But would Rashford bury them? I mean, you look at his form this season for United.
I mean, he had a good finish against Nottingham Forest. That was a cool finish. So, given the chances, I mean, I wouldn't bet against him not scoring. But with the way they set up and they being light on personnel, that's what makes me think that, I mean, United obviously nowadays, they don't even like the ball. They are a better counter-attacking team than a possession-based team. So if that's how Spurs are going to set out with their not 2 best players around, I think United, especially playing at home, may have the edge a bit here.
Well, let's see how the two teams fare. But let's get the thoughts of United boss Erik ten Hag. All right, so that's United boss there, Erik ten Hag, speaking ahead of the game against Tottenham Hotspur. Kwame, sorry. Quick thoughts on the game. What should we expect from these two teams?
You know, historically, United has always had Spurs' number at Old Trafford, but in Spurs' past 11 games, they've won 4 times at Old Trafford. The reason why I would not be swayed by the City comparison is because, you know, certain teams just have certain teams' numbers.
Yeah.
And City seems to have, Spurs seems to have City's number, because City are yet to even win at the London Stadium. So it's one of those things. But when it comes to Manchester United, even the reverse fixture where Spurs won 2-0 was one of those games you will be deceived by the scoreline. United were very good in that game. They missed
a lot of
their chances.
Yeah.
But just like Nubo said, if you are going to play a high line against, and you are not going to repent in your ways after all you've learned, you are not repentant. You still want to play a high line against a team who I believe Manchester United, since the day of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is molded to be a counter-attacking team.
Okay.
Who are they losing? Amrabat. They didn't really need Amrabat.
Onana is out too.
Onana is playing.
Okay, Onana will play.
No, I won't even have a say. I want to even have a bite.
After.
I want to have a bite on this whole Onana thing. I think he should stay. See, Onana deserves to do whatever he wants to do.
He shouldn't go to the AFCON?
If he wants to play just a game, he should. Because I feel like, I even said this the last time on the show, the disrespect the guy suffered just because Rigobert Song didn't want to play a player who plays from the back. It's not being spoken about enough.
But then why answer the call then? That's my issue.
Because they thought Onana suddenly found favor when he performed good at Inter Milan.
Yeah.
When he was in the finals, and then he's Cameroonian.
Yeah.
He becomes one of the highest paid goalkeepers. And all of a sudden, he's getting call-ups. He shouldn't have even honored it. I feel like he was hugely disrespected at the World Cup, but that's another story for another time. They having Onana, they do not lose much, but I think he would leave after this game. This game is very important. And outside with Nubo, I think that the odds favor Manchester United in this game because Spurs are depleted, and yes, they found the results against Manchester City when they were depleted. Yeah. But I think this is going to be, that was a game that was really predominant on City wanting to have the ball. But I think Manchester United is a team who would be okay with Spurs dictating the pace of the game and having the ball and getting them on the counter-attack, and they're not going to spare them. I personally was not impressed with United's performance against Wigan on Monday. I watched that game and it was a ball fest, wasting of chances. It had to take a little bit of Bruno's chemishes and buying penalties to win that game. But then
penalties.
The goal they scored, he had to go buy a penalty. But that aside, even with that performance, I still believe that playing at Old Trafford with the crowd behind them, and I know Ange is going to play a high line, even with a skeletal team going to play a high line. And I would want to see Radu's performance, at least with that. He has a quick player.
Yeah.
But even with that still, can he match the pace of players like Garnacho? Can he match the pace of Højlund? I still feel Højlund still being able to break this goal thing would be able to find
this will be his moment.
It will be a very open game, and I think it will be a very interesting game to watch.
Okay. But so let's get the thoughts of Spurs manager Ange Postecoglou speaking.